Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to my Let's Play. Remember11, The Age of Infinity. Last time, Satoru went to the shelter cabin, had him a very simple meal, did some recording, recorded a message to Kokoro, and now he's back at Sphere. Let's see what he's going to get up to now, or what somebody's going to get up to with him, I should say, or both. Huh? Somebody's trying to kill him, so they could do it, or they could not do it. Guess it depends on if all the choices I made about the breakfast was proper or improper. Before I knew it, the spoon had vanished from my right hand. In its place, my left hand held a felt tip pen. Oops. Looking around, I quickly understood that I was in a room at Sphere. My room. I was sitting on a chair, facing the desk. Note had been left on the desktop. Compared to the previous transfer, it took me a little longer to take stock of the situation this time. Turned my gaze to the felt tip pen in my left hand. Left hand? So Kokoro's left-handed then. Since the position of my body right now reflects Kokoro's precisely before the transfer, that'd be the obvious explanation. In that case, I can more or less understand why she wears a wristwatch on her right wrist. I guess it would get in the way if you wore it on your dominant hand. Uttering that new piece of information to myself, I shifted my gaze back to the note. The transfer happened at 1:07 p.m. Below, it was some kind of unidentifiable scrawl. Are those letters? Or a picture? Or some sort of code? I couldn't tell. I tilted the memo diagonally, then tried holding it up to the light, but I couldn't decipher it. To be fair, it wasn't completely impossible to see it as a drawing. That is a very screwed up drawing if that's what they're showing right there. She took a lot of time to do all the different colors. The blue and the reds and the yellow just kind of squishy into there. Put a lot of time into that. I would like to imagine that that's exactly the quality of her art. Although I know that that's supposed to be kind of... To be honest, I really don't know. I guess maybe it's just like mental stability type thing is what these screens are supposed to indicate, with the red, cloudy, and the yellow something, and then this kind of the grayed out ones. Maybe it's supposed to be maybe emotional states or something. But if that were the case, it would mean that Fuikawa Kokoro's drawing skills were bad enough to actually frighten people. Or possibly that she'd try to reproduce an early 20th century abstract painting of some sort. Unintelligible, incomprehensible, if I were forced against my will to try to see some kind of meaning to it. Like a Rorschach test of some sort. I've heard of that. It's like those ink blots, I think, isn't it? I need to quit trying to use the mouse wheel on this screen. A type of projective psychological test. The subject of the test is first asked to interpret a series of cards with ambiguous bilateral symmetry, ink blot designs. Okay, yeah, I was right on that. The answers are then analyzed so as to try and determine that person's personality characteristics. Invented by Rorschach, Hermann Ohr, 1884 to 1922, a Swiss psychologist. Winchester, Worcestershire sauce. Or something. Anyway, it was a strange picture that would have been hard to describe any other way. Yes, I suppose so. I guess what he said was exactly the only way that it would be possible to describe such a thing. As I stared at it intently, I could almost feel my brain cells dying. I felt like I'm in danger of getting pulled into the Twilight Zone. They're living in the Twilight Zone in this story. Pretty much. Yeah, this story is pretty much the Twilight Zone. Personality exchanges, amnesia. It's pretty much could be a story in that Twilight Zone. Covered different parts of the drawing with the palm of my hand, shaking my head with increasing violence each time. I took a deep breath, wiping away the sweat cascading from my forehead. I decided to do something to lighten the mood. The transfer happened at 1:07 p.m. I concentrate on those words. 1:07, that's exactly the same time I woke up during the last transfer. Though that said, all we've gathered is this one item of data. With only that, you could just easily call it a mere coincidence. I can't deny the possibility that a transfer occurred while Kokoro and I were asleep either. Just in case, let's keep writing down the times of the transfers. Almost forgot. The time is... Took the wristwatch out of my pocket and stuck a quick look at the display. 13:45. I think I spent about around 4 or 5 minutes looking at that drawing-like thing. Oops. If we say that my perception of time is accurate and that there are no errors in my calculations. The last transfer was at 1:07 and this one at 1:40, so I was in the shelter cabin for 33 minutes in total. I decided to engrave this number deep into my memory as well. What, 30 minutes or 33 minutes? I muttered as my eyes fell on a note once again. The vertigo-inducing drawing, and the message saying that the transfer happened at 1:07 p.m. Well, since we are in a state of emergency, those kinds of formal gestures certainly are trivial, but even if it was just one word, I'd appreciate it if she'd written some kind of reply. From just this, I don't even know if she actually got the message I left last time or not. What kind of woman she is, what she's thinking now, how she feels. No, wait. There were only two things I asked her for. The first was to write a reply, and the other was to check the time of the transfer for me. And in this note, the sentence, "The transfer happened at 1:07 p.m. certainly qualifies as a reply. Basically, with just these 6 words, she'd precisely fulfilled my request. Moreover, she was even polite enough to add that drawing-like thing. Going by this, I can understand what she's like to a certain extent. She's mentally stable enough to be able to draw a picture, but not so mentally stable that she's able to draw a good one, apparently. I don't get an impression of hostility from the picture, so at least it doesn't feel like she hates me. This doesn't look like a mongoose flipping me the bird while taking a poo on my future grave. So, yeah, I sense no hostility. If she meant for her sketch to calm me down, maybe she's even seeking to establish a friendly relationship. She has no future as an artist. That's funny. She managed to get all this information into one little drawing. Avoiding unnecessary details and distilling it down to just the necessary information, she poured it back to me in the most efficient way. Taking all this into consideration, I could make further conjectures as follows. Though you can't really see it from the picture, I suspect that she possesses a surprisingly keen mind. Yeah. Yeah. She seems to be very quick-witted. Quite the sly one. Felt like she had seen right through me. I tapped the base of the felt tip pen against my temple. I left the room. Nobody was in the living area. For the time being, I was left without a clue as to what to do next. From that world to this one, after the transfer occurred, I couldn't get my train of thought back on track. The switch inside my head isn't something that can be turned on or off easily. I couldn't think about both the shelter cabin and Sphia at the same time. And right now I'm at Sphia. So I'll stick to thinking about Sphia. It's a rather simple line of reasoning, but I don't start to think overall the information pertaining to this place. Won't be able to get my thoughts in order. I calmly surveyed the room. I'd already spoken to Tsumi before noon. So my next task was to talk to Uni and Inabushi. First I'll... I think I'm gonna go to Keiko's room. We really don't. That's good. We really don't know much about her, sorta. Or at least this side of her, the one that is able to talk and surprisingly not kill people, I think. So yeah, that's what we'll do. Headed over to Inabushi's room. Entering, I saw Inabushi Keiko sitting on top of the desk. Guess it's as good a place to sit as in the chair, I suppose. She looked toward me, both her feet dangling in the air. She said, "Who are you?" Even after dispensing with greetings, for her to question me like that was awfully sudden. Yanking idly on her long hair, she answered. The contents of this conversation aside, taken aback by her attitude and manner of speech. She seemed like a completely different person compared to the girl from last night. The girl who'd clung to me, pleading for me to save her. There wasn't so much as a trace of her anymore. But she remembers it. She asked. My mouth was frozen shut. I couldn't answer. Wow, did he? You should really not. Did he fix and run away? Bewildered thoughts began to whirl around my head. This is pretty much our first meeting, is what she'd said. Does that mean that she hasn't met Fuyakawa Kokoro either? This is our first meeting, even including the times when my body was being controlled by Kokoro. Is that how it is? Well... She said suddenly in a bright, playful voice. And as it left from her mouth, she too jumped up from the desk. Gliding smoothly across the floor, she drew toward me. As her crouching down once, she suddenly took a great hop forward. On rising, her face was now so close to mine that my breath fanned against her cheeks. Her eyes held an impish spark. Her lips were curved in a soft grin, as if she were trying to cover up some kind of prank. I didn't know what was what. As if trying to act more reserved. The more she said, the greater my confusion grew. Mystery upon mystery upon mystery. It felt like I'd be drowned in a whirlpool of them. In the meantime, it felt like I ought to do something to dam this flood of information. I had to resolve each issue one at a time. I addressed her in a strained voice. I'd uttered those words so many times I was getting sick of them. They could practically be my catchphrase by now. Answering like that had already become a conditioned reflex.
悟がメインの人格ってこと？
まあ、そう思ってもらっても構わない。
I muttered somewhat bitterly. Given the current situation, I didn't feel like explaining transference phenomenon to her of all people.
オッケー、わかった。今のあなたは有機堂悟。じゃあ、ゆうべ地下倉庫まで私を追いかけてきたのも？
ああ、俺だ。
She stole a glance at me, then averted her eyes just as quickly, a scornful smile forming on her face as she did.
そういえば私の名前、まだ教えてなかったよね。
いや、知ってるよ。君の名前は。犬伏恵子だろ。
犬伏恵子？誰よそれ。昔の彼女の名前か何か？私の名前は鈴影ほとり。間違えないでくれる？
Hearing that from her, I suddenly remembered something. Assuming Yuni had caught her by the name Hotori. In other words, that meant that right now the dominant personality of the girl up front me was Suzukage Hotori. However, I found something unnatural about that. Why didn't she know about Inabushi Keiko? Shouldn't she know the name written in her own family register? Still harboring my doubts, I said this in the meantime.
君はほとりなのか?
Okay. Here's a question. She doesn't say anything when Kokoro's around. And she answers to Hotori. What? So I was under the impression that Hotori was a personality of Keiko who couldn't speak. And I figured that being able to speak was a completely different personality. So, what? Is she pretending to not be able to speak when Kokoro's around? Or, here's a thought I just thought. Because that's what you do with thoughts, you think them. What if Keiko, I don't know, maybe one of her personalities, kind of made this false personality to kind of hide behind, and she acts as that personality who can't speak, writes down Suzukage Hotori, but somehow she actually created the personality. So that just were the words that just came out of her mouth. She created a personality to be, but then she created a personality. Is that the sentence that I just uttered? Okay, well, I think that is a sentence but I think people can figure out what I'm saying. She actually created the personality, kind of like if I were to say, yeah, my name is Stuart Barkelson. Yeah, I'm a really big businessman. That's what I go around saying. Yeah, I'm Stuart Barkelson. Yay, woo! But then, I developed the ID, and I really thought I went between pretending I was Stuart Barkelson to being actually Stuart Barkelson. It's a really random name. But yeah. Just a random thought. Really random thought. Really coming to the name. So yeah, I wonder if that was maybe something that was a defense mechanism that turned into a purposeful defense mechanism that turned into an accidental defense mechanism. Or maybe there's some other explanation. There's very likely another. I probably just wasted everybody's time. Sorry, everybody. I wasted your time there. She nodded immediately. I tried to assert the idea that you should be Inabushi Keiko as fact here and now. nothing would come of it. Though I still had my apprehensions about her condition, I decided to call her Hotori.
で、サトルは何をしに来たの？
いや、ちょっと話がしたかっただけだよ。
Now that I'd established that she really did suffer from DID, I knew what I wanted to ask her. But a new mystery had been born the moment I entered this room. I tried to put forth some of the
なあ、
doubts.
ホトリ、どうしてさっき嘘なんかついたんだ？
嘘？
俺の名前知らないようなふりしてただろ。
ああ、あれね。ちょっとからかってみただけよ。サトルってこんなこと言うのもなんだけど、頭おかしいんでしょ？ DVD だっけ？
Yes.
DID 乖離性同一性障害。
そっかそっか。その乖離性なんちゃらかんちゃらになってるんだよね。
This is a show the do-did thingy.
まあそういうことだ。
Answered her with that, since explaining it in detail would have been too much of a hassle. Here's a thought. Maybe she's able to. Maybe she's able to control it. Maybe she got control over it somehow. Maybe she has one central personality, like her real self, and then maybe she's able to project that through other personalities, where like the information is stored kind of in one. This is really random, and I highly doubt it is, and I also just hit my glasses and hate it when I do that. But like, if she's able to project herself through other personalities, if that makes any sense. I don't know.
だから私が知らないふりをしたらどんな反応を返すのかなと思って。いわゆる好奇心ってやつ？
Although maybe that's not completely right either, because she doesn't have all the. If she's acted differently 2 or 3 times in this conversation, but she's. Yeah, this is really confusing me because it feels like, she was really kind of mean, kind of meaner, kind of confrontational, but now she's all like. Then she was like all peppy, and now she's kind of childlike. But she's not really losing the conversation, which is something you would think would happen. She's able to remember the stuff prior in the conversation. That's the part of this that's really confusing me.
その顔。
いや、別に。
嘘だ。絶対怒ってるもんその顔。やだやだやだ。怒んないで。
Yeah, this is she seems like she's being kind of a kid here.
ごめんなり。なのであり。
And one of her personalities was a child. She clapped her hands and dipped her head in a courtly bow. Unsurprisingly, I was having a hard time figuring out how to deal with her. Crossed my arms and looked out the window. She still remained there with her head bowed.
わかったよ。もういいから顔を上げてくれ。
じゃあ許してくれるの？
あ、
本当に？怒ってない？
Once I told her that, she spun around in delight, wearing a wide smile across her face.
よかった。
If she hated the thought of anyone disliking her so much, then she shouldn't have mocked me like that in the first place. Couldn't understand her demeanor. Yeah, I'm having trouble figuring it out either. Or figuring it out too. Afterward, I guess we keep talking to her. Or he gathers more information about it. Yeah, she is. This is really confusing me. Those were my thoughts about the situation, but I don't know if any of them are real. Yeah. Because, like I said, if she's splitting personalities, you would think the conversation would be, while it was a little bit splintered, you would think it'd be even more like just completely destroyed. The conversation just derailed. But yeah, Unless she's kind of faking it. That's actually a possibility. She could be faking all this. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. So, we'll find out more, though, in the next one, hopefully. I do sincerely hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you then. Farewell.